Quick video about racism. Now, I know we are in the era of Trump, and Trump won a big victory, and so it's not like I'm the lone voice in the wilderness anymore. A lot of people see it this way, but you still see this just blatant racism by a lot of black people, and we're still blind to it. We still don't really see it because of our history in our country, and history that's relatively recent. You only have to go back 100 years to see serious, racism against black people in this country, and you only have to go back, what is it, 150 years, for out and out, black slavery. So it's not really surprising that we have this blind spot, but we definitely have this blind spot where we have this conception of what racism is, and that is that it is white people being racist against black people. And this causes us to be completely blind to just what I view as just blatant racism. You see it now with the Shador Sanders thing. It is totally okay for these people to get on ESPN and just make this racial and basically call everybody that didn't draft Shador Sanders a racist and a bad person and stuff like that. And they're desperate attempts to find that brand of racism. It's just more and more ridiculous to the point where it just shows that they're total racists. Like, I know it's not a conception of racism that you probably think, like I said, because you have this conception of racism that it only comes from one way. But when you literally are so obsessed with race, every single thing is race, and you come up with more and more ridiculous theories of why something's race. Listen, the number one draft pick was not only a black guy, but he was a black quarterback. So your refuge to run to claim that it's racism has really been reduced to zero. I mean, you can't say it's racism. You can't say it's racism in a particular position anymore. So it's at the point where you're the racist. You're the one that has an axe to grind with people based on their race, or you have a loyalty to somebody based on their race, both of which are racism. I think it was like 80% of the picks in the first round. It might have even been 80% of the picks in the whole draft. I didn't keep following it. Were black, and the number one pick was a black quarterback. So if the NFL is racist, why did they pick all these black people? And if the NFL is racist against black quarterbacks, why did they pick a black quarterback as the number one pick? And you look at the NFL now, and most of the quarterbacks are black, and most of the top picks are black quarterbacks. So what makes Shador Sanders? Is he like extra black or something? What makes this a racial thing? Maybe it's that Shador Sanders isn't that good, and he's a pain in the ass, and he's not good enough to warrant being a pain in the ass. Does that ever cross these people's minds? No. To them, it has to be racial. They have to find a racial aspect because they're racists. That's what they are. I know you want to soften it because of the history of our country. You want to say, oh, well, history, no, they're just sensitive and stuff like that. It's like you get to a point where history can't be an excuse. I mean, history really, it's not something we should ignore. We should learn from history, but history is not a defense for your actions in today's world. It's just not. I mean, my ancestry comes from Anglo-Saxons and Celts. I'm basically, when I do Ancestry.com, I'm from the British Isles, which includes Ireland. I have Anglo-Saxon and Irish blood in me. So if I just walked up to some random Dane and just slit his throat, and people were like, "What the fuck? Why'd you do that?" And I said, "Well, the Vikings, obviously, the Vikings victimized my people, so I can slit a Dane's throat, right? I mean, will you give me a break? I mean, I get it. That was a little bit longer ago, but does that matter? I mean, history does not. Or how about I feel a cultural affinity to the Roman Empire, so I just go up and just punch a freaking Turk in the face, and I say, well, they sacked Constantinople and conquered Constantinople, or I don't know, anyone. Like I kick a random German in the balls because they destroyed the Western Empire. It doesn't it's just ludicrous. How long are we going to put up with this? Where we just put up with abhorrent behavior, and the people just point to history as a reason for abhorrent behavior right now. It's absurd. These people that make everything about race, they're not reverse racists. They're not race baiters. They're just straight up racists. That's what they are.